Hello, I'm Sir Bernard de Hoghton and welcome to Hoghton Tower, a strong, well-protected manor house sitting proudly upon a hilltop at about 650 feet above sea level. This has been my ancestral home since the Norman times, and we believe that in 1115 there was a keep built here. My family descend from Walter de Camp, who was the son of William de Malay, a close friend to William the Conqueror. Through the female line, Sir Richard de Hoghton married Sibylla de Leer. Sibylla was a direct descendant of Lady Godiva. So please, come and take a look at the interesting history behind my family home.
In 1565, the house you see today was completed by Thomas de Hoghton. Thomas was a proud Catholic, but Queen Elizabeth, the ruler at that time, was a Protestant, and she wanted to get rid of the Catholic religion altogether. Thomas would not change to the Protestant ways, and fearing for his life, ran away to Belgium. This letter from Queen Elizabeth to Thomas's brother shows how the Queen tried to convince Thomas to return to England. However, Thomas refused and sadly died in Belgium in 1580. 1579. It is believed that John Cotton, who was a retiring schoolmaster of Stratford, introduced a very young William Shakespeare to Alexander de Hoghton. William then became an apprentice to Fulk Gillam, who was the master of the revels, or glorified party organiser. Shakespeare made such a good impression that he was even mentioned in Alexander's will. In 1617, Sir Richard de Hoghton invited King James I to stay. Half a mile of red velvet carpet was laid on the driveway, and entertainment for the king ranged from hunting and dancing to pageants and feasts. At one feast, which King James particularly enjoyed, a loin of beef was served. It was so good and tasty that the king is reported to have knighted the meat and said,
"Gentlemen, as fond as I am of thee, there is nothing finer than a good loin of beef." Arise, Sir Loin.
Even though the visit was a great success, it lost the family all their money, and Sir Richard was sent to prison for debt for 1 year. Richard's son, Sir Gilbert de Hoghton, was one of King James I's favourites. He was knighted when he was only a young boy and actually fought in the Civil War for the king. During the war, the keep was a royalist stronghold. However, Cromwellian troops stormed the keep and, by accident, an explosion totally destroyed it and killed many of the besieging soldiers. (1715), the Battle of Preston. In the blue corner, the Jacobites, hoping to restore the House of Stuart. In the red corner, the government forces, allied with King George. Sir Henry de Hoghton led the Lancashire militia to victory in the fight against the Jacobites, and in turn kept King George I on the throne.
Sir Henry Philip here, and I was the last member of this family to hold a seat in Parliament.
You were a gambler, and not even a very good one. You lost our family a lot of money when you gambled away the Docklands of Liverpool.
Whoops, time for me to get out of here.
In 1811, Major General Daniel de Hoghton led his troops in the fierce Battle of Albuera. He died a hero, having been shot 12 times, but his valiant leadership ensured that the British line remained unbroken. In 1850, the famous writer Charles Dickens came across the house which looked in bad condition. This inspired him to write the short story George Silverman's Explanation, where he described the once great house as lifeless and half-broken. This story upset the family, and soon after they restored the house in all its former glory. Various builders worked on the project, each with their own style. Arguments were had and many changes were made. It took 3 generations of the de Hoghton family until the house was finally finished. In the 1890s, James de Hoghton installed electricity at the tower. His wife, Lady Amy, wanted no more than 115 volts to be used, because she was afraid and said,
"Anything stronger could damage a lady's complexion."
Captain Vere de Hoghton fought in the Great War and was sadly killed whilst attacking German fortified positions in Luce, France. Also in the Great War was Sir Cuthbert de Hoghton, serving as a Coldstream Guard before moving to the new Royal Naval Air Service. During World War II, Sir Cuthbert heard planes overhead and spotted the Germans were using the long driveway to lead their way to Liverpool in order to bomb it. The driveway was then covered over, ruining the Germans' plans. In 1947, Sir Cuthbert de Hoghton opened up the house to the public. Later, Sir Bernard inherited and then restored the house to what it is today, and in 1978 he founded the Preservation Trust, which still looks after Hoghton Tower. Beware, there are many ghosts who haunt the house, including the Green Lady, the White Lady, numerous monks, and Angry Peter. Step inside to learn even more about this incredible home.